4 young men stood before the most powerful king on earth and refused to eat his food. The king was Nebuchadnezzar. The empire was Babylon. The food was the finest the ancient world could produce: rich meats, aged wines, delicacies from every conquered nation. And Daniel said no. He asked for something simpler instead: vegetables and water. Just vegetables and water for 10 days as a test. And at the end of those 10 days, Daniel chapter 1 verse 15 says something that has puzzled readers for 2,600 years. At the end of 10 days, their appearance was better, and they were fatter in flesh than all the youths who ate the king's food. Healthier, stronger, in better condition, after 10 days of vegetables and water, than men eating the royal feast. That's not a miracle story. That's a nutritional outcome. And modern science can explain exactly why it happened. History Daniel and his 3 companions, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, were Jewish captives. Young men from noble families taken to Babylon to be trained for the king's service. Nebuchadnezzar gave them the best of everything: education, housing, and food from the royal table. This wasn't generosity, it was assimilation. Eat our food, adopt our culture, become Babylonian. But Daniel understood something. The king's food wasn't just food, it was identity. And much of it would have been forbidden under Jewish dietary law: unclean animals, meat offered to idols, wine poured as libation to pagan gods. So Daniel proposed a test. 10 days, vegetables and water. Then compare us to the others. The word used for vegetables, zero-aim in Hebrew, is broader than our modern concept. It includes legumes, seeds, grains, and all plant-based foods. Daniel wasn't eating salads, he was eating the full spectrum of plant nutrition available in the ancient world: lentils, chickpeas, barley, figs, dates, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, root vegetables, olive oil. This wasn't deprivation. This was the diet that most of the ancient world actually thrived on. The king's feast was the anomaly. Signs when you shift from a diet high in rich meats, alcohol, refined foods, and excess sugar to a whole food, plant-based diet. Several things happen within 10 days. Measurable things. Blood sugar stabilizes. A 2019 study found that switching to a plant-based diet reduced fasting blood glucose levels within 1 week. Without the insulin spikes from refined foods and heavy meat meals, energy levels become steady and sustained. Inflammation drops. Animal products, especially processed and red meats, are associated with elevated inflammatory markers. Plant foods, particularly legumes, leafy greens, and seeds, contain anti-inflammatory compounds that begin reducing systemic inflammation within days. Digestion improves dramatically. The fiber content of a plant-based diet can triple or quadruple overnight compared to a standard meat-heavy diet. Within a week, the gut microbiome begins to shift. Beneficial bacteria populations increase. Pathogenic strains decrease. Skin clears. Reduced inflammation and improved gut function manifest visibly. This aligns with the text's observation that Daniel and his companions appeared better. They literally looked healthier. The reference to being fatter in flesh doesn't mean overweight. In the ancient world, it meant robust, well-nourished, muscular. A body that was clearly fed, not depleted. In short, Daniel's 10-day test wasn't a miracle that defied biology. It was a result that confirms it. The modern diet industry is built on restriction, deprivation, and expensive programs. Keto, paleo, carnivore, intermittent fasting systems that require apps to track. Daniel's approach was the opposite. He didn't restrict, he redirected. He didn't eat less, he ate differently. Plants instead of processed meat, water instead of wine, real food instead of royal excess. And his results, visible, physical, documented, came in 10 days. Not 12 weeks, not a year-long commitment. 10 days. No subscription required. Devotion pictured the royal dining hall in Babylon. Gold vessels, carved stone pillars, the smell of roasted meat and spiced wine filling a room built to display power. Every young captive is eating. Eagerly, the food is extraordinary. They've never seen anything like it. After years of siege and famine in Jerusalem, the king's table feels like salvation. But Daniel sits apart with his 3 friends. In front of them, a simple clay bowl. Inside it, a stew of lentils and barley, a handful of figs, some raw greens, a cup of water. The other young men glance over, some pity them, some mock them. But Daniel doesn't waver. He lifts the bowl, eats slowly. His companions do the same. They pray quietly before each meal, not over golden platters, but over clay bowls. Not over the king's abundance, but over God's provision. 10 days later, the guard comes to inspect them. He looks at their faces, their skin, their eyes, their arms, and what he sees doesn't make sense. These four, eating lentils and water, look better than every other young man eating from the richest table in the world. The text doesn't say the guard understood it, but he saw it. And that was enough. Recipe here's Daniel's 10-day challenge, adapted for today. For 10 days, eat only whole plant foods. No processed food, no refined sugar, no alcohol, no animal products. Each day, build your meals around these categories: legumes, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, white beans. These are your protein and iron. Have them in every meal. Whole grains, barley, millet, oats, brown rice, whole wheat bread. Your sustained energy. Vegetables, leafy greens, root vegetables, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, garlic, raw and cooked. Fruits, figs, dates, pomegranates, grapes, apples, your sweetness and your vitamins, nuts and seeds, almonds, walnuts, sesame seeds, flax seeds, your fats and minerals. Olive oil, use it generously. It's your cooking fat, your dressing, your daily medicine. Water, your only drink. Add lemon if you need variety. A sample day, barley porridge with dates and almonds for morning. Lentil stew with flatbread for midday. Roasted vegetables with chickpeas and olive oil for evening. Figs and walnuts when you need a handful of something. Do this for 10 days. You will feel the difference by day 3. By day 10, you'll see it in the mirror. The same timeline as Daniel, the same result, written in your body and on your face. The most powerful king on earth offered his best food, and 4 young men eating lentils outperformed everyone at the table. That's not ancient history. That's a challenge you can take this week. Share this with someone who's been searching for the right diet. Subscribe and hit the bell. The bowl is ready. Come sit down.